Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a chance to see Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings as they take on the 11-year man Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game. So they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4.
And last week's win was indicative of how good this team can be. It was a complete performance.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. Breaks free again. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Lions offense and Matthew Stafford ready to go here. Stafford still a solid quarterback in his 11th season now, but the Lions still yet to win a playoff game under his guidance. And last year's mark of 6-10, the worst since 2012 for the Lions. A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. And now the offense for Detroit.
Running back Kerryon Johnson was drafted out of Auburn in the 2nd round in 2018 to become the Detroit Lions lead running back, something they haven't had in a long time. In fact, in 2018, he ran for over 100 yards in a game in September, the first Lions back over 100 yards since Reggie Bush on Thanksgiving Day in 2013. They're hoping that continues, and he'll be the 3-down runner that they've been seeking.
That one a first down pickup of 8.
And him running the football is not something that defenses spend a lot of time preparing for. But this guy has a survival instinct and a knack for knowing when exactly to do it.
Now Johnson. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks. Defensively, let's go ahead and meet the starting 11 from Minnesota. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
7 yards there and a first down. The first down carry here for Johnson. Powering his way forward, past the 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive.
Throughout the game, we're going to track so many different statistics, but one is becoming increasingly in vogue: explosive runs of 20 yards or more, and we just saw one right there to open this game.
Now we'll see how the other team responds, because when you get a play like that against you this early in the game, you got to feel like your back's against the wall a little bit.
Yeah, the pressure now increases on you because your first thought is we have to answer right now.
So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes the Vikings offense and quarterback Kirk Cousins, who threw for over 300 yards for the first time this year in the Week 5 win over the Giants, 28-10. Cousins finished with 306 and 2 touchdowns. And actually, it's kind of interesting. Only 5 into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And they get the football football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. They could not ask for a worse start. You give up a touchdown on the game's opening drive, and then you turn right around and throw the interception on your very first play.
And this is where the coaching staff has to earn its money, because they've got to calm these guys down a little bit. Just as you noted, a horrendous start, both sides of the ball. But now the defense, which gave up an opening drive touchdown, they've got to go out there now and start playing like the team they want to be.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenny Golladay, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
And no matter how it comes about, when you get good field position, you have to make the defense pay. Short fields usually make for good offense.
Prater on to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field. And now it's blocked. The Lions pick it up. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and all the way into the end zone, and that's 2 points.
That's our ball. Our ball.
Following the botch PAT, they're set to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. Shrugs off another. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. Call that a 96-yard house call on the kick return. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge it, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. Extra point good by Prater. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. A spectacular return of 96 yards. Great blocking in front of him on special teams as well as he takes it to the end zone. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 2nd and 13 forthcoming. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
Come on.
Draw play. Cousins to Cook.
Here we go.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. For Dalvin Cook, if the early part of the season is any indication, it might be a 2-horse race between he and Christian McCaffrey for the rushing title in 2019. And the Vikings, they have not been shy about using him, and he's responded with a 100-yard game seemingly every week, including that Week 2 game against the Packers when he rushed for 154 yards. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and they're going to face a third down. On third down, Cousins. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Mike Daniels picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. It's Everson Griffin who made the tackle. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that would look like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
A good pickup there, 22.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
They don't want it. 180.
Everyone has their strengths, able to move to their right or their left, being able to throw the football. So that means you've got to work on both, because you never know which way you're going to get flushed by pressure. In this situation, able to escape to his left and makes an accurate throw.
It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. Stafford gives to Johnson on the draw. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 10 more there and another first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Give him 3 on the gain there. Second and goal. Second and goal from inside the 5. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And the touchdown run came from Kerryon Johnson to cap things off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the play. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. A lot to get to here as some of the division races starting to take shape as we look around the NFL here in week number 7. We'll start with a rematch from more than a half a century ago. What's now known as Super Bowl II. Oakland traveling to Lambeau to take on Green Bay. And it's the Packers who are out in front in the second quarter. Devontae Adams, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head over to New Era Field to see what's happening with the Bills. And right now, they have the lead over the visiting Dolphins. The Bills seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Lastly, let's head to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. See what's happening with the Bengals. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting Jags who are out in front. D.D. Westbrook, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. In the game you're watching, it's Matthew Stafford who's had it working in the first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Gonna let it fly for Rudolph. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Throwing, Cousins, and he's able to find Diggs. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, that ballplay just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Come on now, let's go.
Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. And they're going to go with the jet sweep. This is Diggs with it. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit.
After allowing that last score, the defense knows they've got to tighten things up. Otherwise, they'll let them right back into the game.
And he will not make it to the goal line. The defense holds him here. And this is still a 3-score game as the lead remains 18. This fielded at the 2. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing is Stafford. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Now it's Stafford. Flushed out right. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Well, a couple of good division battles coming up in primetime this weekend, starting tonight with Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Then tomorrow on Monday night, it's the defending champs, the Patriots, on the road at MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. 2 not to miss to close out Week 6. The tackle made there by Jared Davis. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Cousins. Throw complete to the tight end, Morgan. And he lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Prater for the extra point, and they open the lead up now to 25. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive. Then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he was. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, is going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
On 2nd and 7, Stafford. He's got it. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Kerryon Johnson with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Extra point good by Prater, and that will extend this big lead. They have the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A chance for us to look at the Lions' defense again. They recovered the fumble last time. 3 turnovers for them in this game. They've been, that word opportunistic comes to mind, right?
Exactly right. And you know guys on defense, they say the turnovers, the offensive guys call them turnovers. We call them takeaways. We go get them. And that's exactly what they've done in this game.
The former DB making sure you know they're takeaways on the defense.
Takeaways, man. The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. 3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Cousins. And a loose football. And the Lions have recovered.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
On 2nd down, it's Perkins. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. The tackle made there by Harrison Smith. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Still going. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
He takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe Sengun put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback, there in coverage. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. On the toss, here's Johnson. Able to push his way through. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Now it's Martin to do the honors after the made field goal. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Cousins again. It's complete to Diggs. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Cousins now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Now Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. They'll throw again. Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Prater for the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Back to it after the pick 6. Cousins. He's going to let it fly. He's got a man. Complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 33 yards that time. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Detroit, they're into the win column for the 3rd time this year as they get the victory here. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.